I wasn't the patient until my family thought I was. Lisa had always been the kindest person who chose her words carefully, planned her actions in advance, and remained logical and honest with herself at all times. Yet all these qualities meant nothing the night her family decided to forcibly commit her to a psychiatric hospital. Small but misunderstood incidents, a few arguments with neighbors, minor disputes at work, and an unexpected quarrel with a close friend were, in her family's eyes, signs that her mental health had deteriorated. Lisa, however, simply believed that people occasionally make mistakes and that these situations could be resolved over time. In the dead of night, she sat in the back of a dark police car. The faint ticking of the engine and the hum of the radiator were the only sounds, and they unnerved her. Her family and the officers remained silent, ensuring she wouldn't protest the journey. The nurses sitting beside her didn't look at her, their expressions serious and focused straight ahead. Yet Lisa felt a knot in her stomach. Her heart raced, her hands were clammy, and she couldn't predict what lay ahead. Upon arriving at the hospital, the first thing she noticed was the building's harsh and pale appearance. Dark brick walls, small barred windows, and heavy metal doors that locked firmly behind her. The icy air seeping inside combined with a sterile metallic smell that weighed heavily. Every step on the hard floor echoed, drawing her deeper into a sense of isolation. Her eyes scanned the two nurses at the reception desk. Instead of smiling or showing any sign of compassion, they simply carried out their routine duties. They processed her documents and directed her toward the corridors. At first glance, everything seemed normal. White painted walls, cold light streaming through the windows, a few stretchers and wheelchairs. But Lisa quickly realized that this normalcy was only superficial. Everything was mechanical, every movement deliberate, and there was no real life there. Everything felt icy and detached. As she was guided down one corridor, she saw other patients for the first time. In one corner, a man repeatedly banged his head against the wall. The sound of his repeated blows made Lisa flinch, yet she remained rational. She recognized that he, like her, was fundamentally sane, merely lost within the confines of the hospital. Across from him, a woman muttered to herself, her words incoherent and repetitive, yet Lisa observed calmly, understanding that her behavior stemmed from the hospital's structure and the stress it imposed. Lisa's true test began here. As a rational, clear-minded individual, she had to survive among the patients who had lost touch with reality. Every step required caution and composure. Every sound and movement had to be carefully observed. The nurses and doctors would dismiss anything she said as a patient's perspective, and no matter how logical she was, she could never have it officially acknowledged. During her first night, Lisa studied the hospital's routines and the patient's behaviors. She observed the man banging his head, when he became angry, when he regained a moment of awareness, and when he calmed down. Regarding the woman speaking to herself, she remained patient, listening without responding, maintaining her own composure and rationality. As days passed, Lisa began to understand the hospital's schedule: meal times, medication rounds, nurses' regular checks. Everything followed a precise rhythm. Yet other patients struggled to adhere to this order, behaving irrationally and sometimes violently. Observing this chaos, Lisa devised a plan for herself. Remain cautious, avoid drawing attention, and safeguard her mind. One morning, she passed by the man's room. He was semi-conscious, continuing to bang his head, but occasionally showing brief awareness. Over several days, Lisa studied his patterns, when he got angry, when he calmed down, and adjusted her own movements accordingly, protecting herself while remaining unnoticed. The woman talking to herself increasingly caught Lisa's attention. Sometimes she formed understandable sentences, other times only meaningless words. Lisa knew she was mentally unwell, but also recognized that her behavior was amplified by the hospital's routines and systemic pressures. In every encounter, Lisa stayed calm, never raising her voice, never arguing, and never losing her own rationality. As time went on, Lisa also observed the behaviors of doctors and nurses. Each followed the rules, yet occasionally made illogical decisions or misinterpreted patient behavior. Using her mind strategically, Lisa leveraged meal and medication schedules, avoided drawing attention during observations, and acted decisively to protect herself when necessary. One night, she secretly explored the hospital's less frequented corridors, aiming only to understand the staff and patients better. During these excursions, she discovered old records rooms, empty wards, and gaps in the hospital system. These observations gave her the tools she needed to survive. Lisa could now use her understanding of the hospital's routines, the patient's behaviors, and the staff's logical missteps to her advantage. Weeks passed, and Lisa's intellect and reasoning became her greatest weapon. While other patients acted irrationally, she calculated every step, analyzing every sound and movement. Her real challenge was no longer merely surviving physically, it was surviving mentally intact. In the end, Lisa secured herself by exploiting the hospital's systemic gaps. She drew no attention, relied on her intellect and strategy to remain protected from both patients and staff. The doctors and nurses recognized her sanity, but could not formally prove it. Officially, she remained listed as a controlled patient. Lisa emerged as the only one among the patients to maintain her composure and preserve her mind. Her story proved that logic and careful observation could allow a person to survive even amidst chaos and misunderstanding. A testament to human resilience in the face of institutional constraints.